Good morning, guys, and welcome to Friday's edition of Coffee and Chat. I'm Sam G, live from the WGBS studios, and we have our esteemed co-host, Janet G from the Style with Taste. What do you want to call it? Your studio, your creative design studio?
The lair.
The lair. Well, that was
The
between you
lair.
and I, but okay. Guys, we got a special guest for today. It's going to be a very lively discussion. I'm excited. My hands are even sweating a little bit. So settle in, get your beverage of choice. I got some coffee. I kind of did something I don't normally do. I already drank my coffee, but I rebrewed some of the grounds that were already there. Anyway, it's a little bit light, but it will work. Plus, I got some water as well. We'll be right back to get this thing going in just a quick moment. And we're back. That was a quick moment. Everyone was kind of off guard, even me. I was looking at my other device over here. Hey, guys, good morning. First and foremost, let's go ahead and welcome our special guest, Mr. Rashad C. Cade.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Good
man.
morning,
Go
Rashad.
ahead and introduce yourself and tell the people a little bit about you.
Well, I'm a native of Florence, South Carolina. I basically work in the mental health field, as well as I work with a lot of community community organizations and the NAACP. I also do some work with Sam and Janet. So, and I've met them quite a while ago and was instantly connected with. Well, I met Sam first and then about 2 hours later I met Janet. And
You just crushed my soul.
And we've actually been the best of friends since then. And I'm glad to be connected with such great people. Their spirit is so awesome, and so it's always good to be around people who have a welcoming presence like they do.
Well, thank you, Rashad.
We appreciate those kind
We
words, man.
appreciate that.
You know, man, I gotta mention you're looking pretty dapper this morning. You got a hot breakfast date after this or something?
Absolutely not. I always dress like this. Everybody be like, "Where you going?" I'm like, it's just Friday.
It's just Friday.
That when you said that, what popped in my head is that's how Black men used to dress every day back in the day. Yep. It was definitely not what we see right now, right? And it was an everyday thing. I'm always telling people these things, they think I'm crazy. We just need to start reading and reconnect back into our history, which I'm not talking centuries ago, guys. I'm talking decades, a few decades ago, right? There was a time when Black men would come out of the house, unless they look like Rashad right now, and definitely would not be looking like some of these brothers are looking now. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Not only Black men, but women too.
That's true.
Well,
there was a time when before the hair bonnets and we just had scarves, a woman would not be caught dead with her rollers, walking out of the house with rollers in her hair, and not have some type of decorative scarf if she had to go somewhere. But certainly she was taking those rollers out her hair,
exactly,
swishing it up and going on about her business. You know, we do need to get back to the place where we have pride in our appearance.
Well, looks like we have our first topic.
And you know, Janet, actually, that's very true, because everybody gave Monique flack about her making that statement about women coming out with their bonnets on at the Atlanta airport. But my thing is, part of the reason why I have this appearance all the time is my grandfather. My grandfather was I guess you could say one of the Macs from way back
A
because he,
Mac from way back.
yeah,
I'm gonna have to use that one.
yeah, that's what he was known for, because actually now it was a literal sense for him because he had 12 children from his wife and 27 on the outside for a total of 39 children.
See,
Oh,
that's
wait
two
a minute.
topics
Wait a
there.
minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. Hold on a second. Say
Yeah,
that
you heard
again
that
now.
correctly.
But you got a lot of cousins.
I got a lot of yeah, it's actually like I have 20 something immediate aunts and like 14 or 15 immediate uncles, and it's about 3 or 400 of us first cousins. That's just this generation. That ain't got nothing to do with
Right.
the key,
Second
you know, grant
cousins, right.
the rest of them.
Man, invite us to the next family
Listen,
reunion, man.
I'm
I
just
bet y'all
happy
have a
that
good
my
time.
grandparents stopped at 12.
We actually don't have that particular family doesn't have big family reunions. I don't think who's gonna feed all them people.
Okay. Bring
I
your own
mean, it's
plate.
a community thing. Everyone get together and cook and
Bring your
all
own
that.
plate. Let's have a buffet.
I was thinking about it. I was like, good Lord, my whole family is huge. So it really made it kind of difficult for me growing up, because I didn't know who was family and who wasn't. And so I had to ask a lot of times, are you related to so and so? And
Mhm.
had to do a lot of history about people when I got, and even more so, I have to ask, are like people related to my grandfather's last name was not the same as mine. My grandfather's last name was Foxworth. And so if you're related to any Foxworths, then a lot of times, 9 times out of 10, you'll probably be related to me.
You
So
know, Rashad, I have to ask a question. We really do have to, you and I have to do a little bit of research and background because my family, my mother's family, her father's side, a lot of them are from the South Carolina area. They've come from Florence, actually. They came from Florence, but they're Whittingtons. Yeah. And so I'm wondering if somewhere down the road, if we're actually related, because I don't know a lot about the Whittington side, nor do I know a lot about my mom's maiden, her mother's was a McLean. And I don't know a lot about them either, but I know that the Whittingtons are from around the Florence area.
wow.
Wouldn't that
Yeah,
be crazy?
my family actually my grandfather was in the Marion Mullins, like Latta, Sellers, Dillon area. It's very small. You can't. A lot of those towns so small. You drive
Mhm.
through them, you'll be like, "Where was I just at?" But
My brother that just passed recently, he actually was telling me a few years ago that he went to Dillon in search of the Whittington clan, and there's like a whole street named Whittington,
yeah,
and that on both sides of the streets is nothing is predominantly Whittington. And so I still haven't had it,
and there's a Whittington Street actually in Latta also.
so I'm wondering if we may be connected in that way.
Hmm.
So then that therefore would trump Sam. Bam.
Yeah, we gonna have to find that out. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I never knew your roots were down here.
Yes, my mother's side. And you see, the thing is that, we don't know. She never came back to her area until much, much later. And so I'm not really connected with that side of the family. I'm more connected with my Louisiana roots. Hmm.
Well, I'm glad y'all ended up moving up the street. So at least when we do this research and stuff, at least we'll be close enough to actually connect.
Right, right. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, y'all
Yep.
better hurry up and do it because we're getting ready to move.
Yeah, we are.
Where
We
The
y'all
are.
first of
going?
the year.
Where y'all going? Don't leave me. Take me with y'all.
We're going back to the south.
The South.
The
The
Oh,
dirty
y'all
South.
going
south.
all the way back? Y'all going back?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going back to that area. Yeah, we're going back to that area. We still have, we got his parents.
Yeah.
We got his parents, and That's always been our plan. It's always been the plan from day one, our very first conversation. We discussed that. So I guess we were on this, we didn't know, right? That
Right.
it would only be in a span of 10 years that all of these things would start happening. But it was what we discussed in our first date.
Yep.
Amazing.
Uh-huh. That's always interesting to me, family dynamics. And thanks for sharing that, by the way, Rashad. That's a huge family. I'm sure there's a lot of stories that you can
Oh,
tell
if
of
I
that.
told you every story,
Yeah,
we could be talking to this time next year.
yeah. It'll be a year-long series, huh?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Actually, I think I could really write a mini series about our family and about a lot of stuff that happened. Even within the last 4 or 5 years, I could write a whole Netflix um season, like maybe about 10 seasons, 10 episodes apiece.
Oh, I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure, and you still probably wouldn't get all the whole story because there's a lot of people, a lot of variations on it,
A
right?
lot of stuff, I know that I shouldn't know, a lot of stuff I've seen that I shouldn't have saw.
Uh-oh.
Absolutely. I think that goes on in every family dynamic.
Uh-oh.
And a lot of times I just sit there and I just shake my head and just look at them like,
You got to listen to them stories, man. You got to listen to those stories. I think that where we fail in the current generation is that, now your grandmothers are like 30 something and your great
right,
grandmothers are like 50 something. And so you miss, because they're still in their partying stages, right? So you miss that historical path to whoever your family dynamics are. If your grandmother, I was very fortunate, even though I wasn't raised with my grandmother on my mom's side died when my mom was like 15. And then I wasn't raised with my grandmother on my father's side. I didn't actually meet her until I was like 18, and I went searching for her, right? And that was like the best experience, the experiences with her that,
um,
I mean, that's going to last me until the end of my days, all
right,
of that historic, and even the history of my aunts, my older aunts and stuff like that. It's necessary, I think, to know who you
true,
are. Hmm.
true. And a lot of people need to get back to the family unit anyway. Families are not as tight as they used to be.
They're not, but you
No.
know what? I have let's toss a coin on that one, because I just feel like in watching people's family dynamics, sometimes you have to disengage yourself
You
from,
do,
from the
especially for your
toxicity.
clarity and your peace.
Yeah, from the toxicity of sometimes what families
That's
are.
what I had to do with my dad's side.
Right.
I
If
don't.
you've
I
changed your
know them,
mind.
but I don't really associate with them.
Right. If you've changed, people like to put you in a category where they're comfortable with you being in, and it's family, friends, whoever. And so even though you may have grown up in that, at some point, your mind may shift and you say, "No, I'm taking this particular path." And because they're not comfortable with the path that you chose, they give you a lot of slack, and it just becomes really, really toxic because you've gone outside of what their norm is. And we all have to find our own path. We all have to find our own path. So sometimes you really do have to let them go.
You do.
Hmm.
Very true.
Now that's not me and my family, but I'm just saying.
Yeah. No, I mean, actually, you really hit home with my dad's side because I got to know them growing up, but I really didn't have that particular relationship with them. And the only time that it seems like we actually get together or communicate is somebody getting married or somebody dies. And so that's the only time that really, happens for us. So,
Hmm.
it is what it is at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, I was kind of, I guess I look at things a little bit differently because I wasn't raised around either side of my family. We were basically, raised on an island all by ourselves. So once I got to be around my relatives, I completely immersed myself in that. And, you know, the ones that I grew up with, and stuff in my adulthood, I have I'm fortunate. I have some pretty amazing relatives. I love them. We all have our issues, and stuff like that. But overall, you know, they're my peoples. They're
True.
my
You
people.
can't choose your family. That's one thing I've always been told. You can't choose them. So
Hmm.
when I look at that, I'm like, yeah, I couldn't choose to be in this family, but at least the family that I'm in should at least be close enough that we can actually communicate, but we don't. And that and sometimes somewhat I did feel when I grew up, I felt a void because I didn't have that connection with that side. But with age, wisdom, maturity, and life experiences, it let me know that sometimes stuff is not meant to be. I mean, it's just some people are not meant to be in your circle.
Right, that's true. So,
So do
Sam, it
y'all?
seems like we've monopolized the
No,
conversation.
I love organic discussion. So I was just letting it go. I was doing some stuff on the backside here. I'm running the whole studio, making this thing click. But I got a question for you guys since we're on this subject. And guys, please, if you're listening, watching, go ahead and weigh in on this. We're talking about family dynamics of family, and these two have some pretty nice sized families. But my
And
question
even
to
my
both,
dad's side, that was just my mom's side that I was talking about. My dad's side, my dad is the oldest of 10 children.
wow, we're gonna have to have you come back on, and we're gonna dig a little bit deeper into your family history. But I heard both of you, I think, said in different ways about how, especially you, Rashad, about the dynamics of the family and people not as tight as they should be or how we'd like to be. What do
Well,
you
see,
think?
once upon a time, I remember the reason why I said that is because once upon a time, I remember when we were growing up, it wasn't anything for us to go to our aunt's house and just like get together and have a fish fry and put some stuff on the grill on a
'Cause that was that
Thursday.
generation. I can
Right,
relate to that. That
right,
generation made sure that happened. So
right.
what changed? What do you think changed between then? What's that?
You know what? I really
Two
don't know.
generations?
I think what really changed is the fact that so many people, once we had more opportunities to go to school and um become career people, and we had more opportunities to do things with our professional lives, I think that kind of took away the family environment because family was all we had at one point. But now a lot of people are so focused on education, careers, and actually doing other stuff that they're not even thinking about the family unit anymore. And even though I know that the Cosby Show was a good um, model of what a family looks like when they can be tight and still have the careers and still have the, you know, and even more so, even more with the spinoff A Different World, it showed that you can be a person of color and go to school and still have a career and still be, trying to do things with your family. The thing that really got me is that I think a lot of people got lost sight of that. They lost sight of all of the opportunities that they have. And some people actually forgot where they came from because they so focused on, oh, I'm Dr. So and so. But we remember when you was just Ray Ray down the block.
You sound like me when you say that. Well, let me ask you this then, because a lot of things are popping in my head now. Do y'all think there was well, I'm gonna say it, an attack on the black family unit?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Of course.
And what do you
And I
think
do believe
that
that there's a
attack
lot of
emanated from?
population control also because they don't want us to continue to grow in number because at one point we were the minority, but that's not so much the case anymore.
There's actual true evidence of decisions being made when they realize. See, let's go back to the civil rights era. Two things when I always look at this and do my research that really stand out to me. Two things. The number one thing is when it comes to the support was both based on the support of the whole civil rights movement, right? it was all denomination of churches, guys. It wasn't the Baptists. It wasn't the AME. It was the whole black community. It didn't matter what church you were. And the number two thing is that the reason why they had the funds and everything, because the black family unit, right, was the infrastructure. You had mom and dad, you had how many ever kids they had, right? And they were putting money towards that thing as well. So what happened? Now, this has been proven. There's facts that say this, so I'm not making something up. Research it yourself. What happened was whoever was there got around and said, wait a minute, let's analyze this. How were they able to do this so successfully? Because it was successful. Um, and they realized it was because of the power structure in place, which was the black family unit. So from that point on, guys, we're talking about the 70s, right? We're talking about 68 to like 70, 71. Okay, when all this stuff started being put in place, we need to destroy this power structure, which is the black family. If you go and look from the 70s on, you can see this deterioration of the black family unit by design, by the way. So a lot of people don't get this. It was by design. Well, what do you mean, Sam G? Well, look at this one thing about assistance. One of those things, and everyone knows about this, right? I'm talking about government, welfare assistance, whatever. The guy can't be nowhere around.
Mhm.
Right. Right.
So-
In order for the mom to feed her children, even though the family as a whole is struggling, okay, then the father has to be out of the house in
Right.
order for the mom to be able to get benefits to feed the household. So that's one of the main ways to emasculate not only the black family, but also the black male. And then you get into a place where, you know, you get Section 8. So I can find me, you mean to tell me I can get me a nice house and only pay $30?
The
Right.
only thing I got to do is make sure the guy doesn't live here.
Right. And so
By the way,
if he's
that's
not
just
living there,
one.
then he don't have no say, right?
Right.
That's just one of many of the systems. So when I have my whole conversation about system, guys, it's systems on top of systems and systems within the systems.
You know,
That's
I
why
actually think that the system of that public housing is kind of janky and jacked up anyway, because the thing that I look at is that even though they're qualified for these programs, a lot of them, when I go into some of those areas where I see that those homes are definitely in the Section 8 program or in standardized housing programs and stuff, I notice a lot of them are driving Benzes and Jaguars and stuff, and I'm trying to figure out, like, something don't add up. Like, it really makes me scratch my head. That's why I got gray hair now that I'm covering up, because it's a lot of stuff that I look at with that system. I'm like, how in the world are you in a Jaguar but you living in that house over there?
people are going to find a way to game any system. Well, not
Right.
any, but most systems out there. Look at what just happened with the PPP. Uh,
Let's not
that's
talk about the people. That's trouble, right?
Actually, I'm glad he mentioned the PPP, because it was so many people that went to jail already because of the fraud with it. And my thing, as a small business person myself, I never did apply for it, because I knew at that point I knew I wasn't going to be ever able to pay that money back. And they always say, well, you don't have to worry about paying it back immediately, but people don't realize there's a lot of interest tagged to that stuff, and there's a lot of stipulations that a lot of people don't look at with the legal parameters around it. And it made me upset, because it made other small business people who actually need the money have to suffer. And so a lot of those programs won't even be available for us anymore because of the fraud.
I think that, you know, when we're talking about the government assistance, you know, we're talking about Section 8 housing, you know, food stamps, welfare, all those things, and including the PPP, is that unfortunately, you know, it's like what a program was designed for, right? Now, the assisted housing programs, or what they call the projects now, whatever, you know, it was designed by because we were going into that Great Depression. We had gone to the Great Depression, and the president was trying to just put some type of programs in place to give some relief to people during the Great Depression. As with everything else, okay, just like Sam said, somebody is going to figure out a way to defraud a situation that was actually meant to benefit, people. During the pandemic, a lot of businesses were really going under and they were struggling. And most of those businesses, okay, that were going under and struggling was the small business sector, the small mom and pop, businesses. And so they did, the PPP did give them an out. It gave them a little bit of relief because we really didn't know what was going to happen. As per usual, in every situation, just like you said, there was companies, big organizations that were getting these loans, and people that were completely defrauding. It just reminds me of when Katrina happened. Now, I was a part of, I evacuated right before Hurricane Katrina happened, right?
Mm.
And I evacuated. I was supposed to be coming here actually, but I ended up in Atlanta. And the thing that I noticed, you were getting all of this assistance from all of these different entities. I'm looking at these people. It's a mindset, man. I'm looking at these people that are buying, with that Red Cross money that they was given and the FEMA money that they were given. These people were living in these, when I tell you, these had to be the roughest motels, right? They were living in these motels because when you evacuated these cities and states where you evacuated to, they were trying to put you up, right? They were trying to help out that particular community. But these people were getting this money and you have no place to live. But you rocking, these Louis Vuitton bags. You are head to toe, whatever. But you don't have, you're not rebuilding your life. It's a mindset.
It's definitely a
I feel like
mindset.
it's a mindset.
Yeah. I mean, guys, weigh in on this conversation. I love this organic nature we got going on here with this coffee and chat. Or actually changed the name this morning to
So the
Coffee
name
Chat.
changes one.
Coffee
What's the new name?
Chat. With Coffee Chat, no N, just a Coffee Chat with Sam and Janet. And actually we need to talk to you, Rashad, about some ideas we got as well as far as making you kind of a part of all of this. Guys, we're going to be right back. Take a quick break. So take a sip on your coffee. At one time I was doing this coffee and chat in my first iteration. The guy said he was sipping on some whiskey. Whatever it is, your drink, your beverage of choice, take a sip.
Hey, I mean, it's Friday and it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
You were doing coffee and chat at night, babe.
We'll be I was doing it at night. I thought it was always in the morning.
No, you were doing it at night, and that's why people were, because nobody.
That's why they were drinking. No, that was my virtual happy hour. I want to do that again. I want to do that. I was doing that on a Friday. I only did it once though, and it was a big hit. Of course, it was a virtual happy hour. That's why. But I want to switch the slightly, not switch, but segue into this report I started reading. You can kind of make it, kind of related, guys, what we're talking about, which was family dynamics. Both of these people here have some huge families. I didn't get to speak on my family because it's small. It's a small family, so it can't even touch, especially Rashad's family. Johnny has a huge family as well. But I was reading this report, glancing over it this morning about the happiness factor, countries and their happiness factor. And I get into this stuff and Janet goes, there you go again, reading another one of those funny things. But it's really interesting, guys. So I'm gonna ask this question as I'm bringing this up. What do you guys think is the happiest country out there? Out of all the countries on this blue ball floating out here in the ebb of space, what do you think is the number? Let's say the number 1, 2, or 3, or whatever you think is the top one. I'm just asking the question because I know it, and you guys chime in if you're watching us. What country do you think has the highest happiness ratio? Okay, highest happiness ratio.
I think I'm gonna try to weigh in on that
Okay.
because I think I know. I think it's Switzerland, and only because they mind their business.
There's that's a huge point he's making though. So when we're
Only
not in
because
other
they mind
people's
their business.
business,
They're not
when we're not,
nobody's bothering them. They're not bothering anybody. So they might be happy because they're not worried about getting trapped up in war zones. They're not worried about somebody calling
that's right.
declaring
I
a
agree.
fire against them or something. So they may be just happy and content, just chilling in the
I,
cut.
I
But
agree.
that's the only reason why I think that they would be probably the happiest country. When it comes to economically um happy, no, mm, that's a hard one.
Anybody weighing in? Let me look over here. Well, we got to vote for the virtual happy hour. That's all we need is one vote. So we'll bring that back.
Hey, I'm here for it too.
By the way, that I'm gonna start it back up because some other people asked me as well. That virtual happy hour
And
is
I
on a
will have a
different
libation therapy session
libation
during that time.
therapy. That's what it's about. Just so you know, in case you're wondering,
Therapy.
that is
Absolutely.
that's on a channel where we're not everyone is not blasting out to Facebook and all my other
Mm-mm.
channels, guys. I do that in a way where it's not a Zoom meeting, but it's a private conversation because some people might not want people to see them taking a sip or whatever. And you don't have
Oh,
to
I'm
show
okay with
yourself on
it.
the
You
screen.
can even put it on the YouTube, and I'm okay with it. I'm all right.
So let me get. I don't want to give the answers right away. Janet, what do you think? What's your guess on the?
I already know the answer, so I'm not going to say anything.
Oh man, I'm trying to find.
Did you
Oh
forget that you and I had this conversation earlier this
yeah, that
morning?
was. I did forget. By the way, I did forget. So let's do this. Let me bring this up. I want to show this as we're discussing. Well, I'm going to show the first part of it. And by the way, Rashad, Switzerland did make the top 10. So
It
Okay.
wasn't the number
uh,
one, but it made the top
it
10.
made the top 10. Actually,
Yep.
made the
Now
top
you got me
5.
curious to find out who was number one because I'm like, who happier than Switzerland? Like they mind their business. Like for
Okay.
real.
All right. Then let's do that. The number one. So this is, by the way, this is all legit and backed up based on the ground data, actually speaking with residents or not citizens of these countries, right? Finland is number one. Number two is Denmark.
I know why Finland number one. Ain't nobody there.
Number three, Iceland. We're losing you, Rashad. Number four, Switzerland.
Iceland.
Number five, the Netherlands. Netherlands. Number six, Luxembourg. Number seven, Sweden. Number eight, Norway. Number nine, Israel. And rounding out number 10 for the ranking of happiness. And by the way, this is from the years 2019 to 2021. Of course, they can't gather this information in a year's time. So it's over that time frame that they did it. Number 10 is New Zealand. Now, someone's
Wow.
probably should be asking me, what? That's not right. Where's the good old US of A?
No, I believe I don't think that the United States was ahead. I never thought that was not even in my thought process when you asked that question because the United States is so full of competition with each other. Like this country is so divided amongst each other, and so much segregation and stuff is still yet relevant till today. So it's not, even though they say that this is the melting pot of opportunity, I don't think that this is a place where somebody can come and be absolutely happy because once they come in here, they're in a I guess you can say a shark pit full of people that are definitely competing to see who's gonna get that slice of the American pie. So no.
You were you couldn't believe that Finland was number one. Finland has a population of almost 6 million people, we thought that because I was like, Finland, who lives in Finland?
There's
But they
people
have a
there.
population of almost 6
They got
million.
6 million people.
Yeah.
5 million,
That must have been since yesterday or something.
Nah.
That is as of July 1st, 2022. That is as
Okay.
of.
Can you pull up Iceland? See, and that's I'm glad you did that, JCG, because we Americans with our superiority complex, we automatically default to that. Because I would think the same thing as Rashad. There's probably not a whole lot of people there, right? What about Iceland?
Iceland's population actually increased by 2% in 2021. They currently have a population of only 376, 248.
That's a lot of people still for that area.
Still, yeah.
That's a lot of people. By the way, guys, go ahead.
So should I move to Iceland? I mean, I got my passport. Should I move?
No.
You know, I would move to, these are cold climates.
Right? I love the cold, so it wouldn't bother me.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, but then that's got me thinking though. Like these are some shocking results to me.
Someone just asked where is the U.S. on the list? Well, let me go down. Let's round out the top 20. So I gave you the top 10. Number 11 is Austria. Number 12 is Australia. Place Janet and I have on our list of places to visit. Number 13 is Ireland. We might be going there next year. Number 14 is Germany. 15 is Canada. 16, United States. 17, United Kingdom. Look at that. 16 and 17. That's interesting where they fit in on this, right? Two world superpowers, the U.S. and the United Kingdom. 18 is Czechia. Probably pronounced that incorrectly. Number 19 is Belgium, and rounding out 20 is France. Interesting.
Now, seemed like France would have been a little bit further up. And the only reason why is because they really are like supposed to be this love-oriented place. Like it's supposed to be all about the
that's how it's been marketed.
Right.
Okay. Keep that in mind. That's how it's been
marketed. Right, that part. Because I was like, like really? Yeah, that's amazing.
Keep in mind that the United States in all of the countries, United States is really like the baby of all the countries.
True.
So I think that I feel like, well, I don't know because I've never been to France, so I will keep my judgments to myself. I've never been to France, so you really don't know. I feel like I would enjoy living in Canada. But Canada has a population of almost 39 million people. And I guess it kind of did in they're part of, Queen Elizabeth is, she owns Canada as well. But they have for the I guess the diversity, because you have English and then you have completely French speaking cities within or places within Canada, like Quebec, they only speak French.
Right.
I think that I would like that. I would enjoy that at some point, but I would not. And it's a beautiful country. I have gone there.
I would have to learn French though, because I'm not going to be sitting there and somebody talking about me and I don't know. So
it just depends on where you live.
Right.
Which part of Canada you live in, because not all of them speak French.
Wow, that's amazing.
Someone just wanted to see the report. I'm not going to pull up the report, guys, because it's data, and I don't want to confuse anyone. But if you want a copy of that report, I'd be more than happy to inbox it to you or email it to you. But this is the nice. I like these graphics, right? Just the world map that they did, and you can see the rankings where the happiest countries are. Now, these are the overall rankings. What we've been discussing is we're breaking it down. The next thing I want to do is break it down let's look at the economy. In other words, that the money, and they're ranking it based on their GDP, right? And for anyone who needs a refresher, GDP is basically, it measures the goods, the production of goods and services in a country during a certain amount of time, and what that country is pretty much making off of those goods and services. That's it in a nutshell. Now, Anybody want to guess who's at the top as far as GDP during that same time frame of 2019 to 2021? I'm going to go ahead and say it. Well, you want to guess, Rashad?
GDP.
Think about it's all about the money. Think of it that way. You know, how rich are these countries?
I'm going to say that's got to be Japan. Got to be.
You think number one is Japan? Number one
Or
is
China.
Number one is Luxembourg. Number two is Singapore. Number three is Ireland. Four is Switzerland. Five is United Arab Emirates. Six is Norway. Seven is United States. You know, I get into some of these. I don't like to get into debates, but I get into these conversations where some people are just hell bent on this statement that the United States is the best country in the world, and I always tend to disagree because I know a little bit.
It's not, and it's not. And the history of how it was formed even makes it not the best country in the world to be in.
Well, I just looked up why Luxembourg has the highest GDP per capita. It is known as a business-friendly country with low corporate taxes, a stable workforce, and government incentives with respect to investment. And all of this, and they have a small population. So that's what results in their.
It sounds like TNG need to go to Luxembourg. That's what it sounds.
Okay.
That's what it sounds like. Oh my God! Because that's, I mean, it centers around the stuff that you are so passionate about. So
yeah, that's true.
You would feel right at home.
It's a lot of money flowing into these countries, and investments and products and everything, right? Real interesting. Where's my list? I lost my list. I want to see.
I don't know, but what kind of food they got in Luxembourg though? Because that would be the deal breaker.
Here's the thing: you take your particular culture with you,
right?
Okay.
That part.
You take your culture with you. So wherever I go, you see, my culture is Sam.
Right.
Taking Sam with me.
Well, we're getting a lot of inbox messages for virtual happy hour. You know, we might try to pull that off this evening.
I'm here for it. Let's go. Let's get it.
And just so you guys know, it was normally at about 7 p.m.
Listen, we're not doing that this evening. Okay, we have other plans, honey, for this evening.
Let me look at the
That's
calendar.
fine.
We'll start it next Friday.
Yeah, no, we can wait. We can wait. We can plan that.
We'll start it next Friday. Build up the momentum.
I'm ready.
And of course, my best friend would be the first one saying, you know.
I wasn't going to say anything.
I saw the comment.
Yeah, there it is right there. Talking about some, yeah.
You know, this girl, we met. We met our freshman.
I'm with Rhonda. I'm with Rhonda completely.
We met our freshman year in high school. We had the same English class. And our English teacher would enunciate all of her words. And you know how you would appreciate this, Rashad, how oh my gosh, I just lost her name real quick. The one who sang with Will Downing, Rochelle Farrell. How when she sings, her whole mouth goes into whatever note she's singing. Well, this is how our teacher was. And I'm an idiot, you know, and I would sit there and I would be in the background marking her. And my best friend, well, you know, I didn't even know her at the time, but she was rolling and we got put out.
Put out the class.
Put out the class. I ended up being the teacher's pet, and we ended up being best friends from 9th grade to now. Mm-hmm.
Amazing, and it's something good about us that are named that our name starts with the letter R. So you know, I know she's good people. I know she's good people.
She is.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever. Actually, we should have her on for one of our business spotlights for her business is Kendrick's Creations, I believe.
Yes, Kendrick Creations. and
Okay.
she does floral arrangements. And her business is doing quite well. Her
Okay.
husband had a business where he was doing these fabulous socks.
Yeah.
I used to buy all of Sam's socks from him, and
Mhm.
I wish that he would his socks, right? But I love
So wait a minute. You said Rhonda's business is doing extremely well.
it's doing well.
I'm asking her,
It's
can I
doing
borrow
well.
$250?
Oh,
Let me inbox her.
can't even deal with him. But she's in, and this is one of the things that I really, really love about my relationship with her, is that since we graduated high school, we have really not lived in the same town, let alone the same state as one another. She has lived in Boston. I have lived most of my adult life in Louisiana. She's now in Indianapolis, and I am now over here in Fayetteville. But that relationship that we have has, sustained, all these years. And so whenever we talk on the phone or get together, it's like no time at all has passed. And that's what I really, really
Oh,
love and appreciate about her.
absolutely awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Friends to the end.
Yep.
Okay,
And
guys.
continue to do wonderful, Rhonda. I'm glad to hear that your business is doing well. I love to hear success stories. I
Mm-hmm.
love to hear them.
Yep.
So
Yep.
what else is going on, guys? We got a few more minutes here before we get to the top of the hour, or the
Well,
top of our hour, I should say.
Rashad, now, so I understand that you mentioned that you have a small business and you didn't get the PPP loan. But what exactly is your small business?
My small business, the name of it is RDC Management.
And what does they do?
Named after my initials, of course, and the slogan that I chose for my business is "It's your message, let us manage it." And basically, what we do is we will take your idea and graphically design it and bring it to life through flyers or digital postcards or digital business cards, and even put out announcements and things. And I'm actually working on another segment of my business where a whole nother entity where I will be doing voiceovers to be able to do voice promos for people, and we can be found on Instagram and Facebook. Um,
What's your
at
name on
RDC
Instagram?
Management.
Okay.
And basically, I mean, I haven't been in business long. I've had a few clients to, help do some things, and I've serviced quite a few people on a regular basis already. But I would like to see things go a little bit better. I do believe that I started the business in a in a time that the economy wasn't the best. So I'm quite sure that once this economic situation pans out a little bit better, things will get a
So
little bit better for me.
so let me ask you, so you are basically a graphic designer, am I right about that? Okay. So then why would I go to you instead of doing it myself?
The reason why,
Small business ABC.
right, the reason why you would come to me is because I have an eye for detail, and
Mhm.
a lot of people would just put together something just to get the message out, and they're not really looking at the details and about the color choices and the things that would attract the general audience. And I have an eye to make stuff look better than what somebody else would actually put it out there, and I actually have done wedding programs, invitations, and those type things. And when I do those things, I actually do it with the client in mind. I actually do it believing that, okay, this is what you would want to see as a look of elegance and professionalism that's put out there, instead of those fly by night people that just decide that they found a app or two and they think that they can throw something together, because a lot of times using a template is not always the best either. You want your stuff to stand out and be unique. And
So
that's
you
another
won't
thing that I do.
customize. You customize per the client need and not have a generalized graphic design.
Right. Correct.
Okay.
And he's working on some stuff for Geyser Benefits as well, Janet.
Cool. Cool. That's wonderful. So you are on Facebook and Instagram as RDC Management.
That is
Okay.
correct.
Cool. We'll be able to see some of the work that you've done on your site.
Yes, you will.
Okay. Wonderful. I like that.
I'm working on a website that Sam actually gave me a key point on. So I'm working on that. I haven't finished it yet. I had so much stuff going on. I had 11 Zoom calls on yesterday. So
Oh wow. That's
So
well,
you're
busy
busy.
is good.
Busy is
Busy is
good.
good.
By the way,
no,
I'll send
no,
you
really, truly, I love to talk, but 11 Zoom calls, I was
it's a
tired of
lot.
talking.
It's
Believe
a
it or
lot.
not.
I'll send you the invoice for that idea I gave you. Not sure these people are still on here, but hey, Solo Delta, thanks for joining us. Greg, thanks for watching. Donna Coleman, thanks for joining. Donald Escobar, cool name. Thanks for joining. Hey, did you know your brother was watching, Janet? So I'm surprised he's watching. He's supposed to be out there killing bugs today. Cynthia, thanks for
That
joining.
would be a hilarious
Rhonda,
that
of
would be a
course.
hilarious one if we had him on.
We should. We should.
My
Oh, man.
brother my youngest brother, he is like the bug specialist. He can tell you if it's a roach, he can tell you what kind of roach, the region that the roach came from. It's like, he's an exterminator, but and
Oh, okay.
he is very, very good.
All
My
right,
funny
then.
story, my funny story about my brother is that after Katrina, I moved into my first apartment in Atlanta. I was in the kitchen, and you can always come across something in an apartment. But I was in the kitchen and I saw a bug, and I called him, frantic. There's a bug. I can't live with bugs. I'm ready to take all my stuff out of here, and he's like, I'm on the way. When he got to my house, this boy was completely suited up. The white suit, he had this looked like a miner's hat on with this big flashlight, right? He had this tank on his back. He looked like somebody from Ghostbusters. And so I turned the light on and I was like, it was right here. Turned the light. No, Jan. Turn the light off. We have to sneak up on him. I would never. My brother is serious.
Wow.
He was serious about his craft. So
Well, shoot, I might need to talk to him about some serious business for real, because I know a couple of people need him.
Oh yeah, well he's in the Georgia area, and he's very good at what he does. I got to give him his props. He's very good at what he does. Yep. Because we don't do that over here. We don't. We just can't.
Okay, let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back to close out this session.
All right.
I like the music on that. I got to get that guy to do some music for me.
I was dancing to it too.
Yeah, music is tight. Hey guys, someone just asked me about that. Yeah, we have our sponsors, and it's not right now at the stage of us doing this what can we call it? This show. It's not when you think
Coffee
of
chat.
sponsors, coffee chat. It's not when you think of a sponsor. We're not requiring you to pay us $500. That's not yet because we're just building this thing out. We don't know what the future of it looks like. We're taking it one show at a time. So my idea is that while I'm doing this, you don't have to listen to us talk the whole time. We're shouting out some small business owners. So if you want us to do this for you right now while it's free, of course, it won't be free for long because I can see the look on Janet's face. Let me know. Reach out to me real quick because I need more of these. And let me show Janet's real quick. We just That's the one that we did. Not bad for, especially me not being a creative, but I had to have her assistance with that. But we love to highlight your business. We love for you to come on and talk about your business, get more awareness. You guys know how all this social media stuff works. So I need to
And
tell
when
you.
you mentioned the fact that it's a show, I need to talk to both of y'all offline about that Roku TV.
Oh, this dude trying to get us on
There you
TV.
go. There you go. Let me just say this as far as a style with taste is concerned. I find myself, which I love it, is doing a lot of work on branding, business branding, small business branding. So as you saw in the clip, I did a business branding for a business that we hope to have on the show. Two Girls and a Party. She's an event planner that does balloon events, and they're fabulous. Well, she just had her grand opening on Saturday, and
Okay.
it was so wonderful. Her and her team, they had on, I did their shirts, and I did a crystallized mug for her in her brand logo, with her brand logo in mind. And so I find myself doing a lot of more things like that. I'm currently working on a design for a realtor, and I'm going to send her, a couple of designs probably sometime today and let her choose, which one she wants. I also did a brand building for, she's an interior designer in San Antonio, and so we did her some shirts and also her tumbler with her brand logo. So I'm actually really loving that space. We also have a guy that I created some t-shirts and sweatshirts for this in, I think that they have some type of cigar club, but I created the design for them, and I'm loving that space. I'm really loving that space, and it keeps my creative juices flowing because
Oh yeah.
everybody is different, and you want to appeal, as you said, Rashad, you want to appeal to their particular brand, and just kind of expound on that. I have a lady who I am also working on some stuff for, that has she does one of those hot yoga things in Orlando, and my daughter actually is starting a lingerie business, and so we did her a cup with her logo on it, and it's just her handwriting. It was so cool. Well, this lady saw that cup, and now she wants, she is looking to me to do some branding things, for her to be able to, because like I said, I take my cup goes everywhere with me, and it is it's not even the style with taste cup. It's just my personal cup, but it goes everywhere with me. And you never realize, if you're a small business, especially ladies, brand yourself and take your brand with you everywhere you go, because somebody is going to ask. So I'm really loving that space.
I want
Yeah,
to
and
put
I
an
saw
order
your work
in.
actually with some stuff that you customized for Sam and stuff like that. So I actually know that your work is definitely great and unique. And some of those T-shirts, I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of low key hating because I wanted, I wanted one. I wanted one. I was like, "Ooh, I want one right now." But but I know he's the only one that can have them. So I'm gonna
No,
let him be
he's
Oh
great.
not.
no, no,
No, he's not.
everything, all my t-shirts I pretty much wear now, she designed and created. These are for sale, man.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not
Because
just
that one
doing
he
that.
got on, I'm low key hating on it right now myself. I ain't lying.
yeah.
Listen,
Talk
that
about it.
particular one, I actually designed that shirt for a different for somebody else. They were the ones who wanted the shirt. But of course, Sam with his takeover spirit. I want one. I want one. So, that's become a very popular shirt and I love it. It's absolutely beautiful, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. So I might need to try to get into I want one group. Mm,
Well, you're my Facebook friend, just
that's
like
right.
everybody else. Hit
I,
me up.
I'll text you. I sure will. I
hmm
want one.
Yep. I did a something for my best friend, and it might. I just love the ability to be able to customize things for people. That's just where I am. I'm the customized queen. All right, Sam G.
I like that. I mean, people still coming on. Hey, good morning, Dennis.
Right, and
Actually,
before you close out, even though you did give me a chance to give a little plug about my business, I wanted to tell everybody that's listening under the sound of my voice that if you haven't chosen Guys or Benefit Solutions to be your choice for financial um, for all of your financial needs, basically all of them. I mean, he's an expert at what he does. He's not new to this. He's true to this. This is what he believes in, and this is what he actually does for a living. So,
Mhm.
so always make sure that you go out there and you seek Sam for all of your consultation, because I guarantee you won't be disappointed. He's going to make sure that he gives you the personalized experience that's going to fit you and your family's needs. So please make sure you do that.
you're hired.
Okay, okay, Rashay.
He is a marketing professional. You're hired.
Hey Ray, I see my offspring has jumped on.
We're getting that second wave of viewers. So, guys, we can jump into another topic. Not sure what your time is like, Rashad,
I'm
but
good. I'm good.
we allocate time for this because it's open discussion and open flow right now. Um, I'd like to have Dennis Carter on as well, one of my homeboys from Mississippi, who's an
I'm
awesome
definitely
musician.
enjoying this segment. This is good, especially this to the interaction and the networking with people, even the people that I don't know that are in the comment section and stuff like that. So it's really good to actually have this platform to talk to some other great people.
And there's a lot of great people out there. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this and why I started it before. Just having conversations with people about what they do. Of course, it's all about trying to help people grow their businesses, and of course, grow my business as well. But we can have some fun while we're doing it. We can talk about other things other than our business, which is what we've been
So,
doing. Great conversation about the family. How many people did you say was in your family, Rashad, or do you know the exact number?
Well,
um,
from his
I know it's 39 children from my grandfather. My dad is the oldest of well, that's my mother's father. My dad is the oldest of 10 children. So in total, I have about, I'm gonna say around 46, 47 immediate aunts and uncles. Um, and then I got like I'm gonna say I'm gonna say an estimate is like maybe 420, 430 first cousins.
How about you, Janet? What would you say the number of people in your family?
Well, when you break down your mama side and your daddy side, on my mom's side, because my grandmother passed away so young, my grandmother only had three children. My mom being the oldest, then I had an uncle, and then I had an aunt. And all of them have passed away, unfortunately. But my grandfather, maybe 2 years or so after my grandmother passed away, he ended up remarrying and they had like five kids. Well, those kids are actually me and my siblings' age. So that's kind of strange. Like
Wow.
she's my aunt, me and my other aunt, she's like 2 months older than me. My older brother who passed away, I have an uncle who's only a couple of months older than him. So that's kind of weird, right? That your aunts and uncles are like your age. And
Well,
then
no, because I do have with my grandfather. You got to think about it. I got 39.
all of those, yeah.
Yeah, so there are a couple of my uncles that are like only 5 years older than I am. So we
Mhm.
kind of grew up together. And so I'm like, you my uncle, but it's like you my
You my
brother too.
cousin. Yeah,
It's
you my cousin. You my
kind of
brother.
weird.
Yeah, and on my dad's side, my grandparents had 12 children, and on average, those 12 children had on average 3 kids apiece. Some of them had more, some of them had less, but on average, my father in particular had 12. So, I have we call them the ones that he and my mom had together, then the ones that he and his wife had together, and then the ones that he had, outside of that. So it was 12.
Right.
And
Wow.
what I find wonderful about my siblings is that like we all know each other, we all love each other, and really particularly we my mother's children and my father's children, we consider all of us brothers and sisters. So when we moved here for to take care of my mom, my brothers were calling me regularly. They were calling, they were texting my sisters, my other sisters and stuff like that. They were calling and texting all the time. How are you? How's your mom? All of that. They stayed in contact, and they stayed giving me that encouragement and push, and they knew when I needed prayer. They would call me and say, sis, I was just thinking about you, and when you looked again, they had me, in that prayer room. And it was times when I didn't even realize that's what I needed, because when you're in the thick of things, it was like I was taking care of my mom and my aunt at the same time. And my aunt had cancer, my mom was suffering with dementia, and it was just a lot. So when you're in the thick of it, you're just doing what you feel you need to do. So you're not really processing all of the emotional stuff. So I'll never ever I just considered myself blessed and fortunate, to for them to be like that.
I actually had a relatable experience because my grandmother, for the last, um, I'll say 7 years of her life, she
Mhm.
battled dementia and Alzheimer's, and we basically saw her body slowly but surely decline. Um, it was not a, there were certain things that rapidly progressed. There were certain things that took a long time to see what was happening over the course of time. But during that last, I'm gonna say about year and 2 months of her life, she was immobile. So I was her legs. I was the one that carried her all around the house and stuff like that. And it even got to the point where she wouldn't even want anybody to give her medicine or food unless it was me.
Mhm.
So it was that. With that being the case, I can relate to you on so many different levels with that experience, and it's so amazing that you had a good support system. Me and my mom, we had some family support, but for the most part, we did most of everything ourselves.
Mhm.
And also, when you say your mom and your dad's children both, y'all all have this sibling connection. I have an older brother who has a different mother than myself, and me being even though me and him grew up with different dads, we have this relationship, and well, with different moms. We have this relationship where we didn't let that come against us, or like we didn't let that come between us. We actually talk and have a good communication system with each other. But I think that a lot of siblings, when you're not full siblings with the same mom, the same dad, a lot of people love to say that's my half brother and they love to throw those titles around, and they be like, well, she ain't all the way your sister or whatever. Yeah, no, 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 no. That ain't even the way we operate. So
Right.
um so I
That's not the
admire
way we
that about
operate
you and
either.
your siblings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not the way that we operate. When my father passed away, um, all of my siblings, my mama's children and my dad's children, they came to, the funeral. And so the front seat, and the only way that I differentiate my siblings is my sister, who I was raised with. She is my sister because she's the one I was raised with. We were together from the moment she was born. My other siblings are just my, I just call them my sisters or whatever, but she is my sister. And when I say sister, everybody knows who I'm talking about. But she was right there, and she's always been, like right there, with me, her and my younger brother. So it's pretty cool. It's really cool. So
Well, looks like we lost Rashad. I know I saw him swatting some mosquitoes or something away. They probably came and
mhm,
took him away.
right.
He's outside, which was interesting because I know it's kind of the temperature is getting a little up there already this morning. Guys, that's our show. For anything else, Janet, you want to
I
close the
don't
show
think
out with?
so. I think that I'm putting it out there. I don't know if she's still on, but I would love to for Ray to be able to come on with us, and just two girls in a
That'll
party. I
be
would love, if you're a small business, and you want to talk to us about your business,
right.
and how you started, what are your challenges, your successes, whatever, hit us up. We would
Hmm.
love to have you.
Oh, there he is. We
Okay.
lost you there.
Yeah.
I thought the mosquitoes
I
that
don't know
came
what.
and got you, man.
No, I thought something happened to my connection, and then some kind of way there was a uh one of those robocalls came through and knocked everything off.
All right, we're getting ready to shut down. Any last words, Rashad, from you?
Once again, like I said, if you haven't looked at Geyser Benefit Solutions as your choice for financial advice, financial to develop your financial plan to increase your current financial portfolio, as well as to put a plan in place for your family in the future, make sure you go to the link that's below. You will see it going across on the screen, and also make sure that you always consider Sam and Janet as your financial advisors, because I guarantee you they have a selfless approach for what they do. They have a heart, and that's a ministry of theirs. A lot of these services that they offer, they don't even charge a dime for. So, and I really think that they should, but that's another story. That's a whole nother story. But
Yeah, that
all of this very, very valuable information is very, very good and resourceful for things for not only families but businesses also. So if you have a business financial plan and you don't know the direction to go, I'm telling you the direction to go is at the link below. At the link
Link
below. So
to
make sure
go
you
is
go
the
to
link below.
yeah, at the link below. That's where you need to go. Yeah. So everybody's, I'm hoping everybody stays safe, stay hydrated during this hot summer season. I don't know about everybody else, but here in South Carolina, we've been experiencing triple digit weather a lot this whole summer. So please make sure you stay hydrated and indoors as much as possible, and just take care of yourselves and each other.
all right. Again, he's hired, and yeah, okay. Guys, that's our show. Thanks for joining us this Friday. I will let you know that we do have a schedule we just discussed this morning, Jenny and I. We're going to do this Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We like it a lot. We see the potential to satisfy one of our missions and goals, which is to help other people, and that's why we do this. We have fun with it, and hopefully, some of the things we're saying resonates with you, not only with Janet and I's business, but also with our guest business, Rashad's business as well. I've seen his work, so it's top notch. So reach out to him as well for some digital marketing and among the other things that he does. And we'll see you guys here on Monday, 8:30 a.m. for Coffee Chat with Sam and Janet. And have a great weekend. And I need a going away. Oh, ciao for now.
Ciao for
Hey,
now.
Hey, listen.
Ciao for now.
Ciao for now.
All right, guys. Have a great weekend.
Bye-bye.